Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're going to be taking a look at yet another throwback figure, this time in the form of the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Jolt. This is a figure that I've been wanting to take a look at over on the channel for quite some time now, considering that I've actually never opened this figure. This is one of the very few ROTF figures that I've kept mint in box, but with the Studio Series figure just around the corner and considering that I'm more than likely going to need this original version to compare that figure with, hopefully in the next few months, I thought that today's video would be a great idea to actually revisit this ROTF Jolt, unbox it for you, transform it live on camera. For the first time I will be merely looking at the instructions, so we will literally be experiencing this figure together, and I honestly am super excited. I'm quite surprised at how excited I actually am, considering that I've had this guy in storage for well over 10 years now. Literally I must have been about 9 or 10 years old since I had this figure, so definitely quite a considerable amount of time. And also be sure to let me know down in the comment section below on whether or not you guys prefer this new type of intro, or if I should resort back to my previous intro. So without further ado, let's take a look at the Transformers ROTF Jolt. So taking a look here at Jolt in that classic ROTF box art, honestly I think this was probably the best packaging art that we got from the 5 Michael Bay movies, and even to this day still holds up impeccably well. Here's hoping that that upcoming Transformers 7 box art is just as good as what we got here with the ROTF design. So you can see that the figures did in fact used to come packaged in alt mode, which even to this date I'm not entirely sure as to whether or not I prefer them in bot mode or alt mode. I guess if they're in vehicle mode it's more of a mystery of how the robot mode will actually end up, but I can definitely see from a marketing perspective as to why they would decide now to package them in bot mode, as many collectors are more than likely going to want to see what the robot mode looks like. But nevertheless, you can see we've got a really cool concept art image here of Jolt. Unfortunately we didn't really get a great look of Jolt in the movie, but I'm pretty certain that it was along the lines of this. We've got Jolt Autobots, we've got that fantastic image of the Fallen actually underneath the Transformers ROTF logo with the Autobot insignia slap bang there in the corner. As we spin around here to the back, as this is the European version, we do get multiple different languages and a slightly smaller bio. So the bio we get here is Jolt lures his enemies in close to deliver a crippling blow with his electro whips, and we've got a really cool product shot of the figure in both robot mode as well as in what was his all new Chevy Volt alternate mode, which I believe was one of the first electric cars ever to actually grace one of the Transformers movies. So without further ado, let's crack this open. To be quite honest, I'm actually going to cringe at opening this, as it feels rather sacrilege, as this guy's literally been sitting in pristine condition for near enough 12 years. But of course Transformers are meant to be played with, so let's crack Jolt open. Here we go. He just doesn't want to come out. Oh. And there we've got the box just completely destroyed. Removing Jolt here, you can see looking super nice. A very big deluxe. Of course this is a 2009 figure, so is a lot larger than the Studio Series versions, but I wasn't expecting him to be this hollow underneath. I guess we'll have to wait and see as to what this figure truly has in store for us once we take a look at the instructions. So talking of instructions, we do get included a booklet, which I imagine will showcase some of the other live action movie figures that we could have picked up in 2009. So let's have a quick look at these. You can see we've got Optimus Prime and Jetfire, two figures which I actually do own. Be sure to let me know down below if you'd actually like me to check out that old 2009 Jetfire. And here we've got a very fitting image of the Supreme Class Devastator. Of course, last year we just wrapped up the amazing Studio Series Devastator, so who would have known in 2009 that a couple years down the line we would in fact get a full-on proper Devastator that had individual robot modes. I personally could never have dreamed of anything like this, but this was definitely a great figure for its time. And as we take a look here towards the back, you can see we've got some really awesome figures such as the Human Alliance line, which is a line that I do actually want to revisit on the channel fairly shortly. We've got Transformers the game. Oh my goodness, how nostalgic is this? And I do believe the games are actually really difficult to obtain now, as I think Hasbro lost the license with one of the game developing companies. And you can also see we've got the Ironhide Voyager, Autobot Skids, as well as Mudflap, Ratchet, and the Leader Class Megatron, and here the Voyager Starscream, which I actually never picked up as I had the Hunt for the Decepticons figure. But a really nice looking booklet. I wish once again the Studio Series figures had some of these cross-promotional SAL booklets included, as they would look really awesome. You can see there that Jet Power Prime was so good for its time. And of course we've got Jolt's instructions. Now with a bit of luck this does actually show the conversion in the correct way, as we all know how unreliable Hasbro's instruction manuals have become over the years. But yep, it definitely looks as if though it's going to do that, and he looks to have a very simple transformation, only 8 steps. Surely that can't be right. And then nothing on the back. So without further ado, let's crack Jolt open himself and see what the main figure has in store for us. And so here we've got Jolt in his Chevy Volt Alt mode and looking fantastic. First impressions is that this is a really well made deluxe, incredibly weighty, and honestly feels as weighty as some of the now modern day Voyagers. I love the colour of cast plastic that we've got going on here for some of the robot mode pieces, very electrifying, much like we saw in the movie, and the actual Chevy Volt mode itself looks fantastic. You can see we've got that awesome Chevy logo there on the front, really nice paint decals here at the top, and that transparent blue plastic just looks supreme. And for those of you who are long-time viewers of the channel, you guys all know how much I love pinned on wheels. They are the best wheels. They make the figure roll incredibly smoothly, and it's something that I wish all of the mainline figures nowadays had, whereas unfortunately we tend to get a mix of those mushroom pegs as well as pins. But nevertheless, definitely a really stocky figure, feels incredibly well built, such an awesome release, really nice paint detailing here at the front as well. You can see the side view mirrors have been picked out in a lovely silver, and that transparent blue certainly does look impeccable. And we've even got some nice product placement there of Volt, and I believe that Jolt was just one big product placement. I believe that's also why he had literally barely no screen time in the movie. He was a car that was given to Michael Bay last minute just to chuck in the movie to advertise, and unfortunately he didn't really get a whole lot to do until the end of the movie, where he essentially saves the day in joining Optimus and Jetfire in order to form Jet Power Prime, which ultimately leads to the fall of the Fallen. So actually let's get into the transformation here for Jolt. So as mentioned, I'm going to transform this guy live on camera, so here's hoping that it is a little more easier than some of the other ROTF figures. So the first step is to pop the front section of the hood open, pull this section forward, and then judging by the images here, it says to basically pull out the side panels. It'd be really bad if I actually broke this figure on camera, and hinge these sections down, I believe. And then we are supposed to take these sections here, pull these out, as I imagine they're probably going to form the arms. And then we've got the robot mode head sculpt. I used to love transforming these figures as a kid and seeing the robot mode head reveal for the first time, and it definitely does look superb. Awesome metallic blue paint there, I was not expecting that at all. So hinge this up, and then for some of the final steps, apparently split the legs and just extend all of this out, rotate that there. How on earth is all this going to come undone? And then this should form the front of the foot, rotate there like so, and I believe that's the leg transformation fully completed. If I just bring in the card that we've got on the back of the box, the legs look pretty much done. And then here for the arms, I guess it's just breaking these panels on the sides, hinging the elbows, and then hinge this side. And then what on earth are you supposed to do with all of this? So this comes back. Is that just supposed to stay like this? Maybe I'll clean this up after we get the base completely transformed. But then I also believe these sections are supposed to flare upwards. And from what I can tell from the instructions and the box art, this does appear to be it. Of course, though, we've got Flip, the electric whips forward, and then we've got Jolt ready to electrify, Optimus Prime and Jetfire together. So I just went away and did a little bit of tidying up, and by the looks of things, I got it pretty dead on to how the instructions and the back of the box do show him to look as the final result. And this guy is definitely pretty impressive. Now, the only Jolt that I actually had in my collection prior to actually unboxing this guy was the Dark of the Moon figure, and that was absolutely atrocious. I actually believe that it smashed into bits somewhere in one of my storage tubs, just as it was made out of a really bad plastic, and I believe some parts were transparent, whereas this guy feels incredibly well built, despite him also having some transparent pieces. But of course, the 2009 Deluxes were made out of such robust plastic. Now, I'm quite unsure as to whether or not this hood is supposed to just be hanging out here on the back. I can't find any place for it to store, and I have actually taken some creative license, which the instructions don't show, and have flared these pieces up, as in the movie I'm pretty sure he did have these shoulder pauldrons. But taking a look here at the details, the head sculpt looks so nice. You can see a really awesome metallic blue paint that's been applied to the crest. We've got some awesome silver detail. I'm not a massive fan of this huge plastic rod that is just stuck here behind the back of the head. It really does restrict the head articulation, which is not the best, sadly, and it really does restrict you from getting him into some of those more dynamic poses, as this guy's actually really well articulated. We've literally got like a waist joint, and he doesn't even utilize that for transformation, which is superb. Awesome transparent blue plastic used for the torso, some amazing of what appear to be headlight detailings here, the Autobot insignia, some of that same metallic blue. We've got the electro whips, which look fantastic, and we've even got Jolt's claws. Now, this line did have Mecha Live, although I haven't really found any Mecha Live gimmick here on Jolt per se, which is slightly unfortunate, but I could just be completely missing it. I do wish these whips were slightly bigger, but then again, they did have to actually integrate into the robot mode, so I'm sure the Studio Series version will probably have a separate accessory attachment, which will more than likely be a little bit bigger than these ones. But the leg design looks fantastic. You can see we've got some of those faux wheels there, which don't look too bad, and I was super surprised to see that Jolt does in fact have ball joints here for the feet, allowing for you to get him into some great poses. So definitely a very, very awesome looking figure. Lovely details, lovely claw detailing there for the hands, some awesome sculpt work there for the forearms, and the color choice is just so cool. I actually cannot wait to see what they come up with that Studio Series version, as this guy, to be honest, is actually pretty decent, and my only regret is that I didn't open him sooner, as he's actually really well built. So articulation is as follows. He is supposed to have a ball joint here at the head, but it's very heavily restricted by this back section. We do get ball joints here at the arms. We also do get a hinge joint up and down, rotation at the bicep, 90-degree bend there at the elbow, waist rotation, which is superb. The legs can kick forwards that far, back that far, out to the sides. We also do get a knee bend, which is really awesome, seeing as the design looks very convoluted. And then here for the foot, this can pivot forwards and backwards due to transformation, and also rock side to side. So thoroughly impressed here with ROTF Jolt. I would love to know down in the comment section below on what you guys think of this figure. If you own him, are you happy that we are supposed to be getting an updated version of this guy, hopefully before the end of this year, or are you more than sufficed with this figure? As to be honest, I actually think this figure is pretty darn good. I love how he looks, and really cannot wait to pose him alongside Jetfire and Optimus Prime on my display shelf. So there was my throwback review for the Transformers Revenge of the Fallen Deluxe Class Jolt. I would really love to know down in the comment section below on what you guys think of this figure, if you have him in your collection, or after this review shall you be going out and try and track him down. I do know that there is supposed to be a new version up and coming, so maybe just hold out to see as to what that particular figure does entail, but I've thoroughly enjoyed making this video. It's awesome to revisit some of these older ROTF figures in particular, as to me at least that is one of the best movie lines that we ever got, and the box art's just so awesome. I would also love to know down in the comment section below on whether you guys enjoy this slight switch up in format of having a different type of intro and then a different type of outro. Be sure to let me know also down in the comment section below, and as always with these throwback reviews, be sure to also let me know on what figure you would like me to take a look at in the next episode. I thank you all so much for watching, and until my next review, I'll see you then. Thanks for watching.